Hello, it's Jeremy Williams, head coach at Red Hawk Coaching, and today I am honored to have my guest Chad Hyams. He is the co-host of the Win, Make, Give podcast, put on by Ben Kinney. He's an author. He's a Spartan coach. He's a life coach. Chad's the owner and founder of Ember Seminars, a man of many talents. And I'm excited to have him here today. How are you doing, Chad?
I'm fantastic, Jeremy, and excited to be here today.
Awesome. I'm glad you're fantastic. And one of the other things Chad is he is my business coach. So it's an honor to be able to do this with you today. And I'm really excited about the topic. We're going to dive into a 15-point plan to better health, wellness, happiness, joy, and all that will come out of this plan. So I'm excited to dive into this with you. I want to go through a few questions, and I wrote these down. I know you have a huge passion about the topic of health. Tell me a little bit about your journey and how you've arrived at this place where you're wanting to help a lot more people in this area.
Okay. My journey has been a long one because, it started when I was a kid. So I was the kid, and most of us as kids have that awesome metabolism that we think we can just eat anything or whatever. And then one day our metabolism slows down dramatically and life catches up with us. I was that kid. I was always active. I was always into sports. And then one day, all of a sudden, it just stopped. I don't know what it was. It was probably more going to college and all that, changing what was going on in my life, that I got to a point, Jeremy, that I wasn't taking care of my health at all. I worked on cruise ships, which really was a big party. There would be friends who would be like, come on, let's go to the gym. And I was like, I'm not going to a gym on a boat, right? You know what I mean? If it's going to fall over, it's going to knock things down on you. All of that kind of stuff. So all I did was get more and more out of shape with some intake of way too much bad food for me and alcohol opportunities. When I got off the cruise ships and moved to Las Vegas, and my daughter was born, I put on the sympathy pounds during pregnancy. And then, tried to lose them, tried different programs. And all I did was I did the yo-yo diet that everybody has been on at some point, right? I'd lose 10 pounds. I'd find those 10 pounds. I'd lose 20. I'd find 22, whatever it was. And
was it just you were having more sympathy?
Say that again?
Was it just you were having more sympathy?
Yeah, it was just a lot of sympathy that was going on at the time. Absolutely. And then what happened is my life changed. I ended up single again. The economy crashed, as people will remember back when. And not that it was her fault. My mom, though, was a nosher, right? She was a snacker. So there was always snack things around our house. So to me, I was always learned to deal with stress was we ate. So when I was going through stressful times, things like that, I put on the weight. And Jeremy, I got myself up to what was just under 250 pounds. I'm a 5'10" guy that was carrying a bunch of weight on me. And it was actually on a trip in San Juan. I think that's where we were. And one of the guys that was on the trip had just talked about running a marathon, and I shot my mouth off and said, I can do that. And long story short, I won't get into that one. I lost 60 pounds training for the marathon because I took on a challenge at that point. Then again, I went through some challenges in life. And what happened? I went right back to the food, lack of exercise, put the weight back on, up, down, up, down, up, down. Finally, I found a solution that worked for me, and I have turned it into something that has become a passion to help others find the solution in them.
And so I'm guessing that thing that you came up with is the 15-point plan to more energy, better health, and happiness.
I'd love to take credit for it, yet it's a Ben Kinney creation. He's the one who built it for himself through challenges he was going through. What I found was I found a good environment. I found supportive people through Orange Theory and through a gym called Hugh in Atlanta that I went to. I found people that challenged me to get into the Spartan racing and all that stuff. I found the competitive juices that came from it. I found learning how to eat the right way really changed a lot of that stuff. To me, what I found was a passion for health, realizing that every day I get older, that's the one thing I can't control. I can control a lot of things. I can buy product that would have kept hair on my head. I can choose lots of things every day. The one choice I really don't get to make is, can I not age today? And what I realized is as I'm getting older and older, all I wanted to do was make sure that I was healthier and healthier so that as life came at me, it wasn't something I had to worry about. You're going to deal with health at some point in your life. Your choice is, do you want to just deal with it now on your terms, or do you want to deal with it when you get older and it comes back to bite you in the ass?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we talk a lot about that in our coaching sessions together, and kind of going through that same journey. Probably takes you back to some of the early day challenges that you had is what I'm going through with right now. So
Yep.
all those, I know Ben Kinney gets the credit, and we'll give him the credit. And,
Oh, he deserves it.
I know he eats cheeseburgers too.
He
So
does. Yes.
I don't know where that fits into the 15-point plan, but I heard a lot of things that you just mentioned that are part of that plan are woven somewhere in there. So I know you've got the podcast, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, how people, if they want to go get, take a deeper dive, where they can go to get that. But if you can give an overview of what that looks like.
Yeah. So Ben Kinney was in a place of battling some challenges that were going on in his life, feeling like he was in a rut. I mean, everybody's felt like they're in a rut at some point in their life. And Ben really sat down in his journaling and said, what are the things I truly can focus on and I can control that at the end of every day are going to make me feel like I have more control? I'm creating energy for myself. And he built the 15-point plan. Now, it's been modified over time, input from others, things like that we now have the 15-point plan, which are 15 relatively simple things that if you could just tackle these 15 things every day, you would increase your energy, increase your health, which will therefore bring happiness, joy, and all the other things into your world.
Awesome. So if you're going to run through that list and just kind of give us what is each topic, if I'm wanting to look at getting healthy, just an overview of each step real quick, if you could.
Sure. I mean, they're so obvious. We titled them so obviously, Jeremy, that I'm going to tell you what they are, and you're not even going to need a description for most of them, right? The first one's goals. So you have to have them. If you don't have goals, you're not getting anywhere. So you have to have goals. And what we talk about is every day rewriting your goals, putting your goals in front of you and rewriting them every single day so that you're aware of them. Not having them on a vision board. That's good. That's great. That's wonderful. Not having you told your coach at one point, not this, not every day. It's rewriting those goals, putting yourself aware. And then of course you're going to attack something that day just because you just rewrote it and they're top of mind. Right. The next one as we move along is movement. It's getting movement every day. Now I debate this one, and I debate this one on the podcast with Jolene Snell, my co-host, what movement really is. Right. Walking is not exercise. Walking, though, is movement. So that's why we've called it movement, not exercise, because there are some people out there who just getting 10,000 steps a day, that's going to be a fantastic change for them. Right. Yet what we understand is that's not exercise. Exercise is 20 minutes of exertion where your heart rate is going to achieve a minimum of 70% average maximum heart rate. Right. And I can give everybody here a quick debrief on how to do that. Take 220, subtract your age from that. That's your maximum heart rate. So if you're 50 years old, 220 minus 50 is 170. Take 170, figure out 70% of that. You're about 120, somewhere in that area. Now you need to go do 20 minutes of activity where you walk away with an average heart rate over 120 beats per minute in that 20-minute time frame. That's exercise.
I think the easiest thing that I found, you coached me with the Peloton, is I know my heart rate is there when I get to a place where I can't quite have a conversation while I'm working out.
Correct.
I know my heart rate is at that appropriate level. You got to be sweating, right?
Yeah, you have to be sweating. I mean, go for a walk with your dog. No, that's not going to burn you calories. That's going to get you moving. That's going to make you feel like you closed a loop on an Apple Watch. That's going to make your hips and your knees happy. But you want to go for something outdoor, go hike a hill. Now you're huffing and puffing as you're going up that hill. It's harder to have the conversation with the person that you're with. Now you're probably getting into that area. So movement is key. Every day we have to get it. I specifically would push people for it to being what would classify as exercise. Going through them, hydration, obvious, right? We got to make sure we're drinking the right things. Stop drinking the soda, stop drinking the alcohol, stop drinking the other things. It's drinking water. Half your body weight in ounces is just a general. We'll throw that out there for everybody. Good for you, my friend. All right, sleep, getting enough sleep every day, whatever that is, making sure that you know what it is, right? Nutrition, it's eating properly. Now, there are 110 different ways to be eating. We dive deep into what eating properly really looks like. We can come back to it if you want. Supplements. There are things in the world we need that our body does not produce. For example, vitamin D is one thing not produced by our body or any food that we eat. You can't raise a cow to provide vitamin D in the steak or something like that. Vitamin D comes from one place and one place only. That's the sun. Especially at wintertime, you're not getting as much sun. Depending where you live, you might be all year long. I'm up in Washington State. We don't see much sun, right? So vitamin D is a supplement we need to take. And we talk about key supplements and what are the ones that you need. Every person out there is a little different on what their bodies are producing and not producing. Okay. Now we get outside of just the health things and we start adding things in there like influences. Right. So influences is a big thing for us. You know, who are the people around you? What are the things you're listening to? Are you listening to a certain news channel, which therefore is right wing or left wing? We won't get into that, but you're hearing a specific message. What's the influence? Are you watching the news? Is that ever good? Right? 28 minutes of the news is never good, right? The last 2 minutes, put on the little happy story about the dog who saved the cat from, you know, the tree or whatever it is. But what are the influences you're allowing in your world? What are you listening to? What are you watching? Who are you talking with? Okay. Journaling. We know the benefits of journaling every single day, sitting there and writing something. Now, for those of you who just rolled your eyes, because I'm not a big journaler, right? If you go back to what was point 1 of the 15-point plan, it was your goals. So if you don't know what to journal, just sit down and write your goals again in your journal and your thoughts about where you are with those things as you're moving along. Okay. Going through them still, we get mindfulness. Now, what's mindfulness? Mindfulness is that spiritual moment. Whether you pray to something, don't pray to something, whether you meditate, whatever it is, it's that time where you just turn off the brain and you allow yourself to recharge, right? It might come while you're doing your movement. It might come while you're doing your journaling that you find yourself in that complete place where you almost don't even remember doing it. It might come in some of the other 15-point plan steps. But mindfulness is important, that every day we take some time to stop and be mindful of what's going on. Okay. Gratitude. Every day has gratitude. You text me every single day the things that you're grateful for. It's part of our coaching that we hold to, right? There has to be gratitude given, shown, expressed, because with gratitude, our energy levels naturally increase. Okay.
Yeah,
Laughter.
with life, and you know, I always start my coaching call. You know, tell me one good thing in life, one good thing in business, and it really centers around gratitude. Right, it changes the energy of everything.
Always will. Next one is laughter. We recommend you laugh for 30 seconds a day. You know, and if you listen to our podcast, Ben just flat out breaks out into fake laughter, right? And it turns into laughter because it's just so ridiculous. So whether it's you're watching cat videos, whether you're watching some sitcom that you like on Netflix or wherever you're getting them, whether you're hanging out with your kids and they're just young enough and adorable enough that they're doing things to make you laugh, you got to laugh each and every day. Find a purpose to laugh. You got to learn every day. So there's got to be time dedicated to learning, because growth is going to help us, right? We understand that if a shark stops swimming, it's dead, right? They've got to keep moving and they can only go in one direction, and that's forward. The same thing is true with us. When we stop learning, what starts happening to us? Start thinking about it. And I don't have the statistics in front of me, Jeremy, but the number of people who sadly pass away within 6 to 12 months of retirement, right? They stop learning, they stop advancing, they stop doing things, and what ends up naturally happening to us. Okay. So we've got to learn each and every day, however you do it. Hobbies, you got to have a hobby. Now, my hobby happens to be working out. So it works out really well for me because movement and my hobbies go together, right? That's truly a hobby for me. But we have to have hobbies where we can get into something that we want to do the research on, that we want to be involved with, that just gives us joy and gives us stuff as we're growing in there. Okay. We have to serve other people. If we can serve other people, we forget our problems. We forget our challenges. You know, you're doing a great job of it. You always do a great job of it. You guys in your area are having some power and water and weather issues at the time of our recording. And what do? You immediately stop, drop everything and go help other people. Okay, you have your own problems to deal with right now, but you forget those while you're helping other people. So it's being able to serve. And then the 15th point on the 15-point plan is time. And what we mean when we talk about time, it means planning your day the night before. So are you scheduling your day? Are you blocking out how you're going to live your day? Are you knowing what your priorities are for the day? If you're doing that, you're coming into the day with energy. So those are a quick overview of all 15 points. Now, we do an episode on each one on our podcast. And then we move forward where we're going to be diving deeper into nutrition, where we'll talk for a bunch of episodes on it, or sleep, or interviews of people that we're talking to. But if somebody wants a deeper dive into each one of these, they could just go to 15pointplan.com, or they could just go wherever they get their podcasts and search for 15-point plan. And that's with the number 15, 15-point plan. They'll find the podcast. They'll be able to dive into 15-minute episodes. We keep them right around there so that they don't have to be there all day long, and they'll get even deeper information on each one.
Yeah. Speaking of time and learning, you can kind of get both of those with one of the podcasts. And what I appreciate about it is it's only about 15 to 20 minutes. And I know you are going to dive deeper on it as you go forward, yet to get that overview and a deeper understanding of what you just covered in like 5 minutes. Start with the podcast, and I've been really enjoying those. So,
and we're going to keep them to 15 minutes because we decided we don't want to listen to long podcasts sometimes. So this is that short one. Our goal is 15. Yeah. Sometimes we hit about 18 as we're wrapping up thoughts and stuff, but we try to keep them all around 15 minutes, and always will keep them around 15 minutes for an easy dose of something of the 15-point plan to help you every week.
Absolutely. Or if it gets past that, then we got Chad preaching or Ben preaching. That can go all day. So
that's right.
Awesome. All right. So if I'm starting out and I hear 15 points, and to me, that's a little overwhelming. I think to most it'd be overwhelming, especially if you're not in great shape. You're just starting out. Which one of the points would you focus on?
Sleep. Without question, the first one I would attack. They're not in any specific order. We didn't put them here in a priority order. We just put them in the order they kind of fell off our head. But sleep would be the absolute number one thing I would focus on. It's so much more important than we think. Jeremy, we're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep a day. There are some people who function better on 7. There are some people who function better on 9. When people start telling me they're getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep and that they're doing just fine, I'm telling them, no, they're not. Right? They think they're doing just fine. It catches up with them, and they're not allowing their body to do what their body needs to do while it's turned off. Imagine going on a road trip across country and never stopping your car, right? Just never stopping. Your car would end up overheating, breaking down, whatever it's going to end up doing, it's going to do it. You have to stop and take a break, and your car ends up sitting for an hour while you're grabbing lunch, or overnight because you're at a hotel on that road trip, or heck, you come to a red light and it just gets a moment to go, and catch its breath. Okay. That's what sleep is doing for our body. And we're not taking the opportunity of slowing down and letting our body get REM sleep and deep sleep, which we really dive into in the episode. This has become a passion area of mine to research sleep. But I'm going to tell you, 8 hours a day is not the same as averaging 8 hours a day. And too many people out there say, well, it's okay. I'll work on 5 hours of sleep all week, and then on Saturday and Sunday, I'll sleep in.
I'll catch up on the weekend.
Doesn't work that way. It's not cell phone rollover minutes, right? It's every day you start a new clock. So if you're asking for the number one area, if I were going to sit down and coach anybody, the first thing I would teach them, and Jeremy, you know it because I've been coaching you for a while, and I know you're passing this on to your coaching clients. What's the first thing that goes on a calendar when you build your calendar every day?
What time you go to bed?
And what's the second thing that goes on your calendar?
What time you wake up?
Okay, there you go, right? So the first two things of our calendar are leading to controlling how much sleep we're getting each and every day. There's other reasons behind why those are also the first two things on the calendar, but it is the single most important thing when it comes to your health. Are you getting the right amount of sleep?
So it plays into step 15, right? Point 15, where it's time, and making sure that as you're planning out your schedule for that next day is making sure that sleep is scheduled.
Correct. And you know it, you've had sleep challenges, and many people who are watching this have had some form of sleep challenge or have somebody in their life that does. Your health is completely different when you have sleep apnea or something along those lines and don't sleep well. It might take some time. It might take some adjustments. Folks, I'm going to tell you, turn the temperature down in your house and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night.
We did not have that problem this week. The temperature was low here. All right. So, kind of go along with that. And a lot of this, what I've heard in your story, the story that I'm creating for myself in my personal health journey is, I want to ask you about encouragement. Like what could you do to encourage somebody to get started today, yet realizing ultimately in the end, it's got to come from within?
It always has to come from within. All I can do is remind you your goals and why you want to be that way. And the thing I would tell most people when it comes to a health and energy challenge, to inspire that, is who are you doing it for? Right? You're not doing it for yourself. Most of us won't do it for ourselves. For ourselves, we're happy. We're like, hey, I'm happy. I'm good. Right? Who are you doing it for, though? Do you have kids? Do you want to be around when they get older? Do you want to be able to walk a daughter down the aisle without any problems? Right? Do you have a spouse that you want to actually enjoy life with as you guys age and able to do things? We all talk about, oh, I'm going to work until I retire, then I'm going to have fun. But when I get to retirement age, how many of us are out of shape, can't go on those walks, can't go on that trip to go see wherever and go actually explore a country because we're also tired or whatever that's going to be, right? Nothing is more important than who you're doing this for. And if you're single, you're doing it to bring that person into your life, or maybe that next person that comes along, or to be an example to someone else. We'll always do things for others we won't do for ourselves.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. I remember a story, oh, it's been a long time. Chris Suarez, I think, had shared where he had saved up all this money to take his family and then to take his parents on a trip. And they had gotten up in age and they were unable to do it. They were unable
Right.
to enjoy it. I don't even think it ended up happening just because of the health and realizing that, it really is important what we do now so that when we get to 50, 60, 70 years old, 80 years old, if we're blessed or beyond, is, how we're able to manage and be able to accomplish those things by starting with today. Right.
Yep. And it's health, right? Health is that thing. You want to get that life that you deserve. You got to get healthier. Healthier gives you more energy. More energy gives you more opportunity to hustle in today's world, whether that means succeed at your job, get raises, get bonuses, get opportunities, whether that means have a side hustle that so many people talk about, right? Of if I've got my job and then I also do this on the side to make more money, whatever all that is, we need more energy to be able to hustle. And that's your health. If your health is up, your energy will be up. This is mental and physical health that we're talking about on the 15-point plan. Yet I'm telling you right away, if your physical health is up, your mental health will come along.
Yeah, and that led right into my last question. I think you might have hit it right there. Is how does talking about our health apply specifically to a small business owner that's listening in today?
Right? More energy. You're able to release stress. So stress isn't an issue for you. You're able to work through challenges with a larger battery life, right? You're able to power through things because you're healthy, because you laugh every day. So you're in that right set of mind, because you're doing all these things. And half of these things can be applied to your business as well as your personal, right? You have goals. Right? Are you journaling what's happening in your business every single day so that you can grow, learn, and improve from it? Right? Does your business serve other people? And are you serving people through your business properly? Are you planning the night before for the next day and controlling the time of your business? Are you learning about your business? Right? I can start taking things off the 15-point plan and say, okay, take pure health right out of this. Just make it a business plan. There you go. We can have half of these 15 points immediately applies to small business opportunities and big business opportunities. Yet overall, Jeremy, to answer it, the healthier you are, the more energy you have. The more energy you have, the more you can give to your business because you can power through from the training that's come from building health.
And I think the other thing is enough energy to give your business, but also have enough energy left when you get done with business to give back to your loved ones, your family.
Absolutely, because it's all connected. It's one of the things I love to make sure everybody realizes. We are not a business person, a parent, a spouse, a whatever. We are one person. We just get to wear all those different hats. So you got to have the energy for all of them.
Awesome. Now, how could people find this podcast? I know you shared it a while ago, but share it one more time. How do they find the podcast?
You can go to 15pointplan.com right there on the website, take you right to it and all the links that are connected on there, or the Win, Make, Give podcast network. So you can go to anywhere you're going to get podcasts and just search for 15-point plan. It's the number 15 and it'll pull it right up for you. And you'll be able to listen to it on Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Come join us for the conversation.
So it's not just on iPhone. It's not one of those.
No, we've got it everywhere that you possibly, we even have it on YouTube. So if you're the kind of person who wants to do it on your computer, you can go search the 15-point plan and you can watch them on YouTube. Believe me, they're not video recordings. So you're not going to be watching anything too interesting, but you can have it playing on your computer or something in the background while you're in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, you'll have to do that one day. Have that behind the scenes type look at what's going on as you're doing the podcast. I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
Maybe we will, or we'll show some footage from some of our races, because we're going to be doing some series where we involve how you can train to run Ragnar, or how you can train for a Spartan race, things like that, to help people really be able to get active and involved in the things happening around their communities.
Well, awesome. Again, this is Chad Hyams, co-host of the Win, Make, Give podcast, the Spartan coach, the life coach, my coach, a man of many talents, the author of a children's book. Thank you again, Chad, for your time today. I appreciate it. And I know that there's somebody that's listening to this today that it might be, it might be them putting the stake in the ground to start their own personal health journey. And so that's just awesome to think about that. So thank you again, Chad.
My pleasure. And if someone does do that, I hope they'll reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, Chad Hyams. You can email me, chadhyams@gmail.com. I'll just put it out there. I don't care. I want people to tell me what they're doing. And if we can find some way to help you achieve those goals, let us know here at the 15-Point Plan.
All right. Thanks again, Chad.
You got it.